Well, welcome to another episode of Silence is Golden. My name is Troy Dean.
And I'm Simon Kelly.
And we sure do hope that this episode of Silence is Golden is the best sounding episode yet. As you can see, we have new microphones. Today, we're going to be basically talking about our new microphones. We're also going to be talking about what to do when you are preparing to hire someone to come and join your team. We're going to be looking at some funky, sexy tools that we use here in the business, including our new microphones. And we're also going to get excited and let you know what made the Wii came out this week. Stay with us. I'm in love with this new microphone. How are you, brother?
Well, it's good. I can't hear it, but,
No.
you know.
The replay will sound epic.
Yeah. You're
Now-
actually changing your voice just a little bit. Just,
Am I?
You know, you're just
Well,
turning towards.
Turning towards the microphone. The thing is, with this microphone, you can afford to actually project less and you sound bigger by projecting less. It has a thing called the proximity effect. For those geeks that are watching that want to know, it is called the Rode Broadcaster microphone. We've got it set up on a couple of Rode boom arms here, and we've got a WS2, which is the Rode windsock on the top here too, which we don't really need. It's just there for visual effect. It kind of helps us avoid the P's and the B's. So if we say pa 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 ba ba ba, it doesn't pop in your ears. But I do like it very much.
You've been having some fun setting this up?
Love it. I'm very, very happy.
Testing sound. We've got like all sorts of different things changing in the studio now. You've got like this portable podcast attachment thing going on here, so it can convert from like podcasting to interview to studio. Silence is Golden. It's all coming together. It's amazing.
Now, there are a couple of concerns I need to flag here, and I do want to ask our viewers a couple of concerns that we need to flag. One is when Simon and I do spend a little bit of time looking at each other and interacting on the show like this, and so when I turn to him and I'm off mic, I do know that the audio now is a little bit, it does change because these are called end address microphones, which means you are supposed to address the end of the microphone and say, "Hello, end of microphone, how are you today?" And the more you talk directly into the end of the microphone, the better the quality of the audio. If I do this and I start talking over here, then you can't see my face, which is probably a good thing for some of you. B, the audio does change because it's not designed to pick up audio here, it's designed to pick up audio here. So we sit next to each other, which is just a choice that we made. And I'm just going to leave that one alone. And what might need to happen if we're going to use these microphones, which we are, because they cost a pretty penny, is we might need to reconfigure the way we sit. We might need to reconfigure this desk kind of on an angle so that we kind of sit, almost opposite each other so that we can kind of look at each other and look at the camera and talk, but still address the end of the microphone.
Love to know what you think. What's your feedback? Let us know in the comments what you think about the sound. Is it working all right if I'm turning this way and such? Please let us know. Andrew Moody says best sounding. Smiley. So that's good.
There you go.
WP Elevation says sounds great.
There you go.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Got a bot or something that just gives us compliments?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Of course, dudes. The first thing I did when I started this company was built a bot that gives me compliments on a regular basis.
Just pats on the back.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We should make an evil version just to keep things in check. It's like, but remember, you are a loser as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks very much. So hit us up in the comments. Let us know how it's sounding here. This is all designed to bring you guys better quality content and help you either succeed in your business or avoid distraction by watching us. Avoid work, by watching us.
Avoid distraction by watching us on the internet. Cool. So there's been some new things that have been published this week. So let's take a look at news and what has been going on.
Stuff that happened.
Just an aside with the stuff that happened. We were talking before about like how we're going to present this kind of news. And what we do want to move towards is like some bigger things that happen. What we have done in the past is like kind of like WordPress related news, but articles that have been published and just kind of having our spin and our take on these. But we're going to, next week, we're going to kind of bring some bigger news, bigger things that are happening in the world, I guess, and see how that goes. But for now,
like some actual newsworthy news.
Yeah.
Now,
like what we've been doing is just like our take on articles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
we're going to mix that up. Let us know what you think. Like, super keen to get your feedback on this. Please
And
keep
if
us
you
in
have
the
any
loop.
go-to sources for news that is around the kind of freelancer entrepreneurial space, if you have any go-to resources that you use on a regular basis to get your news, please let us know in the comments so that we can add it to our Team Feedly account and so that we can fuel up on the news of the news and let you know what's going on.
Unless it's us, which is going to make it hard, I
Yeah.
guess. This compliments bot is just fantastic. You guys look amazing. So handsome.
I know.
It's doing great. Cool. So something that did come out was an article from Flying Solo. Oh, was it Flying Solo? Web Design Depot. I thought this was very pertinent because a couple of things came up in the Facebook group, the WP Elevation private Facebook group, about dealing with projects for friends and family. So they've got 5 ways to deal with these kind of projects. 1, which is my favorite, don't. just flat out don't do it. Good fences make good neighbors, and fences around your friends and family make it even better. It's really the safest option is just to draw the line in the sand and just say, no, I just don't do that. That's a good way to get started. There's a big issue that I see with a lot of freelancers and people building websites is just, it's the feels, like I feel like I should give a discount. I feel like whatever. But if you just draw the line in the sand and set yourself some rules that are detached from your emotional state, basically, that can really help you to make the decision at the right time. Another couple of tips were set clear goals and limits for the project. Set clear personal boundaries. Good luck with that. I just recommend number 1, don't. Clearly discuss payment and, just smash it. If you're going to do it well and just, make it amazing.
Treat them like a client.
Crazy. Don't or do.
That's
don't
right.
half do this and but maybe in this weird middle grey ground. All in or just all out, I reckon. So there was another article came out, which I thought was great and a nice one to keep in your back pocket as well. It's a bit of an evergreen piece from Flying Solo. It's a cheat sheet for 16 different headline formulas. Clients regularly come to me with what kind of headline should we use to get attention? This is good for subject lines. One of the formulas is how to achieve X number of ways to achieve result without causing headache, and then you can just replace that with whatever you like. And that works in a lot of situations.
Max is shaking his head because there's something wrong with the lower third. He can't figure out why, and he's a little bit frustrated.
Oh, look at that symbol. What's that?
Yeah, the font.
NS.
The font.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, that you know why that
It's all
is.
good,
You know
mate.
why that is. That's because Adobe and their lovely Typekit sync service breaks all the time, and you have to resync Typekit to your computer. Tonight on The Boring Show, Troy explains why the fonts on the lower third look screwed up, and that's because Adobe...
Tell me all
there we go, look at
about
that.
it.
Troy Ain from WP Elevation and Simon Kelly. That's because Typekit, Adobe... are a bunch of numpties and can't get their Typekit font syncing service to work. It's a known issue. Go to Twitter and Google... Go to Twitter and Google Typekit sync issues. It's a known issue. So there you go, Max. It's not you. It's not me. It's fucking Adobe and their stupid Typekit syncing service. I think I just made this a MA-rated version of the episode, no longer safe for work.
Yeah, that's it.
Richie Harries on Facebook says, never look down at anyone when you're on your way up the ladder, as you might bump into them on the way back down. I don't plan on coming back down, Richie. So,
I'll see you at the top, buddy.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to look down on anyone on the way up. I just don't look down. I just keep looking up, and I don't plan on coming down.
I'm not
No, it's
sure
good
of the
advice.
context of that.
No, I'm not sure what the context of that was either. Richie obviously just had that he needed to get off his chest. So,
Yep.
Thanks for joining in the conversation, Richie.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. Cool. And
Maybe it was the friends and family thing. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Not
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But, man, thanks for sharing.
It's out there.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bit of selfish new thing that came out. I want some more views on the video that I produced. So if you could go to wplinks.io/Asana. Oh, if you could be so kind.
To screw
Max,
up the lower
as to-
third with the Typekit font
Chuck
issue,
it in there.
Max, that'd be
there
great.
it is. Oh,
There we go.
It's missing the slash.
backslash
That's all
doesn't
right.
work.
That's all right. So I put together a tutorial on Asana, and I'd love to get some feedback from that. If you could check it out, that'd be great. The idea is to help you with creating projects so you can have repeating processes and checklists within Asana. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you'd like to learn next. We're always trying to put together tutorials and useful info to help you elevate as a freelancer. So let me know. Love to know more about what you think.
I think Asana's broken. I think the whole model. I think all project management software is broken. Mm-hmm. I think project management.
Tell me about it, stud.
I think this is controversial. I think project management software is a crutch that we use, and I don't think it's an effective way to actually manage a project.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts? Is there a solution, or are we just
I
on
posted
the problem
about
for
this.
now?
No, I posted about this recently on Facebook to much divisive opinion. I think what we should do is we should get together as a team and have a conversation about the outcome that we are working towards, and then we should divide up who's going to do what by when, and then we should all put our big girl undies on, act like grown-ups and go and get shit done. I tell you what's broken is when you assign a task to someone else in Asana and put a due date on it.
That's today.
They are
is
never
good.
going to be as motivated to get that thing done because it's not theirs. They didn't make it up. They don't own it. So I think you could use Asana to manage your own to-do list, but I think the idea of pushing projects and pushing tasks around Asana and reassigning to different people when you've done your bit and pushing it back to this person, I think that whole thing's bullshit. I think it's inefficient, it's ineffective. Have a look at, for those of you who use Asana, go and have a look at your tasks or your inbox and tell me how frickin' messy it is. I've removed myself from Asana. I don't use Asana anymore. I'm out. Let's have a conversation on the telephone instead.
Sure.
There you go. But anyway, if you do use Asana and you're still liking it, then Simon's templates will probably help you be more
no
effective.
one's going to go and click on that link.
it.
Thanks, Troy.
No. I think if you're using Asana, if you're a project manager, I just think you need to be aware. I think you need to be careful. I just think you need to be careful that if you are assigning things to other people, here's what you don't do. You don't assign something to Asana. You don't assign something in Asana to someone and put a due date on them without having a conversation with him. Say, hey, Max, how realistic is it that we can get these videos edited by the end of next week? And he says, absolutely, I can do that. I go, great, off you go. I don't care if Max uses a piece of paper to remind himself to do it, as long as the job gets done. I don't want to assign it to him in Asana. No one assigns anything to me in Asana. Piss off. It's my time. It's my calendar. I'll fill my calendar with my shit. You get out of my calendar.
100%.
There you go.
Different businesses, different ways of doing
Totally,
things.
100%,
Because if
yeah,
you were
yeah.
an account manager and you needed to report to the client about how far along this project is,
Yep.
if you had visibility,
Yep.
it's important to know where things are,
Sure.
basically, so you can get visibility quickly.
Sure.
It doesn't. I think what's important here is there's two separations. One, Asana is the tool that's being used, and two is the process about how you use it and how you work together.
Yeah.
And getting your process out and talking together as a team is the number one most important thing.
Yeah.
The tool that you use definitely comes secondary to that,
Yeah.
and it needs to support that existing system.
Yeah, totally. That's
Yeah.
right. And
All the other tools and stuff, they're not going to fix your broken system.
That's right. And I still think the idea of delegating tasks to other people with a due date, I think is I think we've been sucked in big time to that thinking, and I don't think it works. I know it doesn't work because I've just proven it time and time again in our business that it's all about self-determination. People are more likely to finish a task that they give themselves than someone else gives them.
Yeah, I remember Ed Dale saying involvement breeds commitment.
There you
and
go.
that just really stuck with me. It's like, well,
And Ed is a genius, so anything he says, apart from the fact that he's a Bulldog supporter, anything he says is usually right.
There you go. Whew. If you'd like to get more news, specifically WordPress related, please check out thewpwednesday.com. Subscribe, and we have a weekly email list that comes out on what day does it come out? I think it's Wednesday that it comes out.
What does?
The WordPress Wednesday.
Oh, the WordPress Wednesday
That
comes
was-
out
that
on
was in a
Wednesday. It depends on
poor
where you
attempt at
live.
humour
Sometimes it comes out
going
on
on
a
there.
Thursday. If you live in New Zealand, it might come out on a Thursday. Hey,
Cool.
Keely Worth has corrected Ritchie on some spelling here. She said your people, not your, as in Y-O-U''re. Richie said, never look down at anyone when you're on your way up. And the first your, he spelled Y-O-U-R, which of course is incorrect. It should have been Y-O-U''re. And Keely Worth, the senior sergeant of the grammar police here on Facebook, has come in and corrected him. So well done, Keely. And Keely, what we should be doing is we should be dishing out infringement notices that look like this. They put this on your car. When your wife parks your car park in your designated car park and forgets to hang the permit on the mirror, they dish out one of these worth $161. That's right, $161. You can buy a car in some countries for $161. $161 parking fine when your wife doesn't put your parking permit on the mirror. So Keely Worth, you should be dishing out infringement notices like this to people who don't use spelling and grammar correctly.
When was that one due?
That one is due on the 24th of August.
I think I've seen that about 100 times.
It's due on the 24th of August.
Someone should assign Troy this task in Asana to pay this freaking thing.
Well, no, I'm going to pay it before the due date, but in the meantime, I'm leaving the $161 in my bank account to earn me some interest. And I think $161 in the bank account over a month at the current interest rates, I might earn 0.10
nice
interest before I pay the bill.
Excellent.
There you go.
You can put that on Airtasker with
pay
that
the
interest that you paid, like
Really?
on this scheduled day. I think you schedule payments.
But they need access to my bank account. I'm not going to give anyone on Airtasker access to my bank account. I use Airtasker all the time. I used Airtasker yesterday to have. The reason you've got a fancy microphone, a windsock, and it's plugged in with the leads is because yesterday I ordered the windsock and the leads from a place in Richmond, and they wouldn't do same day delivery, so I paid someone $50 on Airtasker to go and pick it up and drop it off.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Saving time.
There we go.
Which is the theme of this month as well, isn't it? Sprint,
is.
Getting stuff done.
Yep,
getting stuff done. You don't need to. So let's help some people get unstuck. There's some questions in the Facebook group, so I would love to take a look at those.
Let's get unstuck.
So I posted up about this. This episode was about helping to prepare for your first hire, and we've had 17 comments, which is pretty exciting. So this question, I'm going to answer Peter Butler's question first, and that's how do I access a course that says to me, please go back and complete the previous lesson. My answer to you, Peter Butler, is please go back and complete the previous lesson. So if you could do that, that'd just be ace. But moving on.
Yeah, there's nothing cryptic about that error message, Peter. You can take it literally.
Read between the lines.
You can take it literally.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what Peter's talking about, he's a member in one of our online programs, plug, and that was a lame ass plug, wasn't it? And he's completed a lesson, but he's completed the lesson, but he hasn't marked it as complete. So he's trying to move on, and it says, please go back and complete the previous lesson. So you actually need to tick it off as complete.
All right. I've got two questions here. One from Sandy Jackson.
Go on.
Says, I'm about to get started with this hiring, so I'm interested in determining the best role to fill for someone who is new to leading a team. I'm thinking I need a general purpose VA for now, but I'm not sure. So I'd love to hear what a typical first hire is. So we're actually going to get into how you can actually pull apart like where you're spending a lot of your time, so you can figure out the skills needed and what your next particular hire is going to be. So we're going to get into that in a bit. But I'd love to put that one on you, Troy. What's your take on a first hire?
Kerry Baker and Pete Perry have just tuned in. G'day, fellas. How are you?
Thanks for your answer.
So I think what's the question? What's your first hire?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like what's a typical first hire? What's a good way to get started with this process?
Well, a good way to get started is to first of all, the first question you need to ask is, why are we looking to hire someone? Mm-hmm. And usually the way people answer this question is they say, well, because I'm too busy and I'm doing all this stuff that I shouldn't be doing and it's all repetitive and I need to get it off my desk and I should hire a VA. And that's the wrong answer. The question you've really got to answer is, why does the company need to hire someone? In our case, we hire people because Ritchie says we don't have electric in Wales, just sheep. It's late, isn't it? It's late where you are, isn't it, Richie? It is. It's like 1 a.m., isn't it? Maybe. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to do with that, Richie, but again, thanks for sharing.
It's a good screensaver, electric sheep.
We don't have electric in Wales,
trippy
just
thing going
on. So the question you've got to answer is, why does the company need to hire someone? And in our case, when we run out of capacity to impact our community and to help more people, that's when we need to hire. So the more people we hire, the more people we can help, right? So if you start with that mindset, then it's not just about getting shit off my desk. Because if you and the other problem that I think people have when they hire is they say, well, if I hire someone that can do something for $20 an hour, well then I'm worth more than $20 an hour, so then that's going to work out, and that's the wrong mindset. The mindset is, if I hire someone to do this stuff that I'm doing on a repetitive basis, that I can basically teach someone to do, and I can delegate if they've got the right skill set and the right character, and they're committed to the cause and they share the vision of the company, which is the most important thing. If I can delegate that to them and I free up my time, what can I now do in that time to add the most value to the company? And in our case, it is, well, I run webinars and I produce content and I try and expand the reach of what we're doing to get in front of a wider audience, because the wider audience we get in front of, the more people we can help. So I think it's a roundabout way of asking the question, why are you looking to hire someone? Don't just hire someone because you're overwhelmed and you're swamped and you're doing too much. The reality is that you can automate some stuff without even having to hire. So there might be some stuff that you're doing right now that you can just automate and give to a robot. You don't even need to hire a person. And I'll tell you this, hiring people is a pain in the ass, right? And working with people is a pain in the ass because people are unpredictable. People are people and they do weird things all the time. Unpredictable things where you scratch your head and go, why the hell would you do that? A, it's not part of your job description. B, that's just not even how we do things here. But okay, you've done that now, we have to go fix it. The other good thing about hiring people is sometimes they surprise you by doing amazing shit that you would never have thought of.
It goes both ways.
It does go both ways.
Yeah.
More often than not, though, it goes badly.
Really? Depends on who you hire. I reckon it's the other way.
It does
if you, if you empower them and give them a bit of a safety net to fall into, then you're usually pretty good.
Oh, Richie says, tell me one famous thing in Wales. Let's get this exciting. He actually said exiting, but I think he means exciting.
Tell me,
is this not exciting,
good
Richie?
Thing in Wales.
We need to tell you one famous thing in Wales to make this exciting. Is this not exciting?
It's the heroin. Well, there's a place in it that's the heroin capital of the world.
Wow, well that's exciting. Is that famous? There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Jasmine Andrews has tuned in, and so is Jen Sikowski. Hi, ladies. How are you?
G'day. Cool. So the other thing that I wanted to say,
question?
I reckon. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, just an interesting point. Judith Love says, Jasmine Andrews from the group says, is an interesting question. Any advice on how to cope when you hire people who are smarter than you? I thought you could relate to that, Troy. So how does it feel?
If only. Tell me where you find them, Jasmine.
Yeah. They're all in this office.
So just to touch back on Jude's point before, who was the original question?
Sandy Jackson.
Sandy Jackson. Just touch back on Sandy's question. Sandy, you want to hire someone, you want to think long term. The first hire, you want to make sure that you can hire someone who can eventually hire someone to replace themselves. So, if you're going to hire a developer, for example, you want to make sure that you hire someone who has the character and has the capacity, who can grow into a lead developer or a project manager, who can then hire a developer to replace them, so that then you don't have to project manage or manage multiple developers. So you want to hire a coach who can coach coaches. You want to hire a videographer, video editor, and live production switcher producer who can eventually train someone else. We hired Ray, who was originally doing the live production switching, and he trained Max how to do it. You want to hire marketing people who can train marketing people. So, that's really the question. And one way to think about it, and the other way to think about it is what's going to add the most value to the business over the next 90 days. Don't just hire someone because you're bored doing admin shit. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Don't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that, and we'll get into it in a sec. Just coming back just quickly to Jasmine Andrews, just with any advice on how to cope when you hire someone smarter than you.
Yep.
I'm deliberately choosing smart people to help me grow my business. Awesome choice. And working with them is exciting, but also scary. So if it's just scary and that's the only problem, there's really no problem. It's scary. There was an episode of Masters of Scale podcast that I was listening to the other day, and they were talking to Sheryl Sandberg, and between Sheryl Sandberg and Mark Zuckerberg, they were talking about that they're both exceptionally smart people, and always hiring people that are smarter than them, and not to feel threatened by that in any way. They'll bring a lot of value to the business. You can put your trust in them. They're going to do a fantastic job, and you can let them be.
Jasmine. Jasmine Andrews is watching. There you go, Jasmine Andrews is watching. Jasmine, just my take on this thing is, if you hire really good people, there we go, there you are, Jasmine. If you hire really good people and they turn out to be smarter than you, two things. One is a mindset thing, another is a tactical thing. One, get out of their way and let them do their job. Two, understand that most people won't actually accept the risk of building their own business. and they want the safety and the security of working with someone else or working for someone else, even if it is just as a contractor. So you as a business owner and an entrepreneur, what you actually bring to the table is that you are willing to shoulder the risk of building your own business, and it is hugely risky. It's not the safe option at all, depending on which way you look at it. So just because they might be technically smarter than you, or they might be better copywriters or better marketers or whatever, there's a reason that they're not doing their own thing and crushing it, okay? So just bear that in mind. Jasmine says, how do I not get in their way? Just don't get in their way. Talk about the outcome, talk about the results that you're aiming for, and then let them find their own way there. And if they're good people and they are smarter than you, they'll figure out a better way to get there, and then have them document it. How did you do that? How can we train someone else to come in and do that? Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Abdullah is here from Press Tigers. Hey, Abdullah. Thanks for tuning in. And Moore Cohen is here and says, better than the alternative, which I think is hiring people who are dumber than you. Maybe that's the alternative.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's interesting, Jasmine, you say, how do I not get in their way? Well, like right now, you're not in their way. So just don't change, don't put things in their way.
Yeah. Just hang out on Facebook with us. That'll keep you out of their way.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Exactly. All right, let's shift gears for a sec. We'll come back to hiring in a moment. But we want to look at some things that made the we come out. And we still don't have a...
we don't have a bumper for this.
Don't have a bumper.
I'm going to build a bumper.
You could do it.
Yeah. What made the we come out? There we go.
Yeah,
There's the bumper. We'll take the audio from that later and put a fancy picture to it. Hey, Jacobia Cartwright says, hey, I love hiring people that are smarter than me. It's made it to where I can explain big picture and they just handle
that's annoying,
it. What is
and they
this
just handle it way better than I ever could.
Every time
That's ridiculous.
push this thing, that comes up and then I can't read the comment. That is so dumb, isn't
That's
it?
one on Facebook.
There we go. I explain the big picture and they just handle it better than I ever could.
Excellent.
There we go. So,
Jasmine
what
says,
made the we
awesome.
come out?
So, what's been making the we come out?
We have a saying here,
for
whenever
me?
we get excited in the office here or the studio, we say a little bit of we just came out. So that's for those of you who don't know us and who might be new to the show here, that's what we're talking about.
It's about turning a negative into a positive. So, incontinence into a segment of silence is gold.
100%.
Yeah, perfect. So, what's been making the we come out for me is a combination of this here device, the iPad, which is covered in my fingerprints, and an Apple Pencil. And crossing swords, and an app called Notability, and Zoom, which we've got up in the lower thirds there. So when doing calls with clients and when doing coaching calls, you can actually you have your phone up and filming yourself while you've got your MacBook there and screen sharing on this and writing the notes about the meeting and teaching things to coaching clients or teaching things to your web design clients as well and doing the meeting notes, emailing that through as a PDF, blowing minds.
Yep.
And I haven't had so much fun coloring in a long time. And I'm not sure if it's productive, but it is just awesome. Jen Sikowski says, yes. Jen, I have a question for you. GoodNotes 4. I just don't see a use for it now that I'm using Notability.
Yeah.
Fill me in. What's good? Notability is just
use GoodNotes.
ridiculous, man.
I use GoodNotes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know what. I've just switched over to GoodNotes. Oh, they basically
From
do the same
Notability.
thing. Yeah, I've got both. I use both because I have ADD, so I use both.
yeah, I definitely have both.
Samantha Johnston says, awesome. Hey, can we do a little
So
segue
good.
here for a second? Have we got a Mavericks clip somewhere, Max, that we can play? Awesome. Because Samantha Johnston, I want to congratulate, is in the process of enrolling and joining our high-end mastermind, which is called Mavericks Club, which is we basically get to hang out with Simon and I a few times a year in person, and you get access to our private Slack team, and you get to ask us all sorts of questions about growing your business, and we help you. And Samantha Johnston has just joined Mavericks Club, and I'm very excited to welcome Samantha Johnston to the Mavericks Club.
Woohoo!
And so we thought we might just play you a little bit of a clip of our recent event out in San Diego. I had this thing called the Online Marketing Blueprint, and the process was I help my small business clients attract people to their website, capture leads, nurture those relationships, convert them into customers, deliver the thing that they've promised, and measure so that we can continue to improve. They were the 6 things that the 6 parts of the process I took my clients through. And then within each of those, I had deliverables that I would actually work with my clients on to help them achieve that and get through that journey. So that's my process. How do I work? Well, you can take one of my courses and do it yourself. You can engage me as a coach and I'll do it with you. Or you can hire me as a consultant and I'll do it for you. That's how I work. So yesterday we put up on the board here you want to have a DIY version at that price point, a done with you version at that price point, and a done for you version at a much higher price point, right? So people can't afford to hire me to do it for them, but we can work as a coach and I can do it with them, kind of teach them how to do it and do it with them and hold their hand, or they can do it themselves by taking one of my trainings or coming to a group workshop. So that's how I work. The process is the same, right? The process that you walked me through yesterday, Kat, which was awesome, is the same process. You just choose how you want to engage me. And as Simon pointed out, so that was a little clip of us out in San Diego a couple of months ago. And as Simon pointed out, during that clip, you might have noticed that I was teaching people how to clap, which is something that's very important at Mavericks Club events.
Yeah.
Samantha Johnston is our latest Maverick. You are awesome, Samantha. We can't wait to get you onboarded. And she also just mentions here a couple of other favourite apps using on her iPad Pro and Pencil, Procreate and AstroPad. Not sure what you're getting up to when you should be working, Samantha, but thanks for sharing those apps with us. Can't wait. We're actually on a call very shortly for onboarding, so I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, very exciting. All right, let's shift gears back to the hiring process,
right. Always.
which is the gold nugget.
Time to dig into the gold nugget.
Love that
Gotta
track.
try to keep it on
Love
track,
that music track on that bumper.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, you did well. Can I do a bumper? Do you mind? Can I have a go?
Mate, knock yourself out.
Woo! I don't know if I want to do the weekend. Maybe I'll just do
What
that.
made the week come out?
Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
This segment's called Woo! That was good.
That was good. In stereo.
Nice. We're going to do a happy birthday song. Oh, man, I'm getting super distracted.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, hiring. It's very important. One of the first things to prepare to hire is what we want to be talking about today. Something I would like to discuss is, like, first of all, like, why is it important to even prepare to hire? You gave a very good example and description of, like, what you need to have, like, mindset-wise. Like, why are you hiring? A massive mistake that I made at the beginning was what you were said, like exactly the thing you said to avoid, which was getting shit off my plate. And because I was so busy, I didn't think about how a hire could actually positively impact the business in terms of adding value, how I could basically hire someone else out to do the delivery side of things where I'm not involved at all. I was hiring people who were quite inexpensive and good at what they did, but needed a lot of direction, a lot of QA, a lot of like, this doesn't match the description of what we're going to be doing. It was a lot, and the business itself at that point was a lot based around custom dev work, and it was just an absolute nightmare, basically. So all the people who were, involved, thank you, and I apologize. It was a adolescent period. Sorry about all the pimples in the business. One of the courses that we have in the WP Elevation program was created by Coach Christina, and it was about how to prepare for your first developer hire. And something that she created was actually a spreadsheet that you put together where you list all of the things that you do regularly, how often you do them, and then what kind of skill is needed. What was that?
How's that font?
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean, Adobe Typekit's just broken,
enough.
isn't it?
It's all right.
Prepare to hire,
Would it be it?
tasks and needs template.
Yeah. It makes sense. You guys got this, right? So
Are we doing share? Are we doing screen share thing? No.
No. Big thumbs down
So
from the
nerd
producer
alert,
over there.
Just go to that link, which is actually wplinks.io/prepare to hire. And the prepare to hire is separated by hyphens for those of you who are Adobe Typekit challenged. wplinks.io/prepare-to-hire, and that will get you access to the spreadsheet, nerd alert, that Simon is talking about.
What's nerdy about? What are you talking about? Because it's a spreadsheet, and you're like boring.
Boring. Hey, dude, no judgment. I'm just saying nerd alert. Nothing wrong with being a nerd.
Yeah,
I didn't
true.
say nerds were
All right,
boring.
all right.
Nerds are awesome.
So, getting all the things that you do out of your head and actually onto a bit of internet paper. How often do you do them? How long does it take? And then you can break down the different roles that are actually required to fill those positions, to take those things off your plate. Is this the look that you give me when you're about to mess things up? This is what we have found out makes Troy piss himself, is that he does... I'll be talking, trying to, give some value or teach something, and he'll just be like... and then sabotage, and then he watches the sabotage
That's
back.
right. On the
When he
replay.
pinpoints the moment when he does it, it's just.
I'm
the
just
end of your-
constantly sitting here plotting how I can distract you from the script because I
What
just think
script?
it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm a petulant little child and I've never grown
That's
up.
it. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So that's something a tool you can use to help to break down the hiring process. Anything else that you think is useful when preparing to hire?
Richie says,
What do you reckon?
Some companies have government-backed programs where they'll pay 75% of employees' salary
Why?
for 6 months in Wales. So, of course, companies are going to hire that's in Wales and Scotland. There we go. Richie just dropping.
Better you know.
Richie just dropping random value bombs here for those of us in Wales and Scotland.
Knowledge bomb.
There are
Thanks,
similar
Richie.
programs here as well where government will fund some salaries for getting, people who are close to retirement age back into the workforce or people with disabilities into the workforce. So there are some government programs here as well where you can get some of the salaries subsidised.
There's some university programs as well, isn't there?
There are.
Yeah, like placements and things like that.
That's right. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
correct. But that's kind of not what we're talking about. But interesting anyway. Thank you, Richie.
Yeah.
What were you doing? The spreadsheet.
The thing about
Yeah.
that is, well, not the spreadsheet, just preparing to hire in general.
Preparing to hire.
Yeah. The spreadsheet is just there to support you in your prepare to hire process, basically.
Jasmine
and
says.
as I watch the tally lights and
Yeah.
figure out what we're looking at.
Jasmine says
Makes sense.
distracting Simon is like shooting fish in a barrel. That's true. Beck Waterhouse says the
Never
Australian
done it. Never shot fish in a barrel.
Never shot fish in a barrel. Neither have I. But apparently it's quite easy. The Australian government will pay $10,000 if you employ a long-term unemployed person in a full-time position. Then I should get $10,000 because I was long-term unemployed and now I'm employed in full-time.
Sure.
I've been unemployed since I was 26.
Really?
Yeah, that's 18 years.
What? I'm on my long service leave next year, so 23 was when I started Renegade Empire. So
Really?
yeah, coming
Wow.
up to 10 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
there you go.
gonna have 4 hours off, I reckon.
Gonna have 4 hours off to celebrate.
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
service leave of
It's
4 hours off.
It's stressful.
The-
They'll be while I'm sleeping, of course. Like I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to do it during business hours. That's
No,
too
don't
risky.
do that. Don't do that.
Hell no.
The preparing to hire. Did we answer that question or not?
What question?
Preparing to hire with the spreadsheet.
I don't think that was a question. We're just trying to teach people how to prepare to hire.
Have we done that?
Yeah. I don't know. Have we done that? What questions do you
Did
have
you
about
explain what's in the
preparing
spreadsheet?
to hire? Are you looking to hire? Let us know in the comments.
Maybe no
Have
one
you-
here is looking to hire. Did we do any keyword research on the title of this episode to find out if anyone's looking for how to hire?
Watch out for that. Sorry
Hey?
about that. I just ran into the microphone a little bit there. Yeah, don't make the mistake I did where you hire just to get stuff off your plate and you end up adding more stuff to your plate and less into your bank account.
That's right.
Yeah. So another thing, prepare
You end
your
up- hang on,
business.
you end up adding more to your plate
And less in your bank account.
account. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Preparing your business itself, making sure you've got a model that supports hiring people in the business as well. If you're doing custom things all the time, it's very difficult to get someone to follow a process when the process is, all right, so client asks for something and we do it, right? So please follow that process. You need to hire very skilled people in order to do that. And it can be much more expensive. But if you have a consistent, repeatable process, right, that can be much more affordable and much more scalable and easier, much easier to hire on repeating tasks that add value to the business.
Richie's asked a random question here that I can't ignore. He said, what was them Aussie comedians who thought it was funny to shame the royal family and resulted in the nurse's death?
Jeebus.
That's a bit heavy, Richie.
Yeah.
It was Kyle Sandilands and Jackie O, who are basically commercial radio shock jocks here who don't have a brain between them. And they prank called a nurse at a hospital and pretended something that some member of the royal family had died or something. I can't even bloody remember what the story was.
Wow, I don't know
Anyway,
if
the
I'm ready
nurse
for
took her
this.
own life as a result of...
What?
Yeah, the nurse took her own life as a
It's a
result
bit heavy for-
of... I know. Well, hey,
for
Richie
11
brought it up.
o'clock.
Richie, our Welsh friend here, brought it up. She took her own life as a result of feeling guilty about something that had happened. I can't exactly remember the details. And anyway, they were horribly reprimanded for that stupid prank call that they made. And that was who they were. That answers that question, Richie. I'm not sure why you asked that question, but I answered that question, Richie.
There we go.
It was Jackie O and Kyle Sandilands, who are, shock jock commercial
Shock
radio
jock. I like that one.
shock jocks here in Australia who, as I said, don't have a brain between them and frankly shouldn't be allowed to sit behind a microphone. Stephanie Campanella is watching in other news. Hey, Stephanie Campanella, how you doing? Also,
On the lighter
Jasmine
side of
Andrews
things.
says, the Australian government support for hiring trainees, etc. Yes, the Australian government does offer support for hiring trainees. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would just like to say that if you are seriously looking at hiring someone on your team, you want to make sure, I don't know if you've talked about this or not because I usually don't listen to what you say, but because I'm trying to figure out ways to distract you instead. But what you want to make sure is that you've at least got, you don't have to have your, one of the problems I see is a lot of people say, oh, I'm not ready to hire yet because we don't have our processes written.
Totally.
That's okay.
Yep.
You don't need to have your processes written to hire someone. But what you do need is you do need to have a mechanism and a system for writing processes so that when that person comes in, they can start to document the way they do their thing and that there's somewhere that they can store that documentation in the future. So don't let not having processes hold you back from hiring people. In fact, you should hire people to do the job and write the processes for their job because they're the best people to write the processes because they're the ones doing it.
Yeah. If you search back in the archives, we have an episode of Silence is Golden about like creating a process and like systemizing your business as well.
I stand corrected. Sorry, it wasn't Kyle and Jackie O, who I still think shouldn't have a microphone. It was Mel, Greg, and Michael Christian. Sorry, I do stand corrected there by Keely Worth.
But you throw Kyle and Jackie O under the bus anyway. That's fine.
Richie says, you know what I like? You two just had a joke around with you. All the best, guys, and all the best for the future.
Cheers, Richie.
Thanks, Richie. Beck says, question, I'm looking to hire someone to handle my blog content. Would I be better off hiring a copywriter, more expensive, or would I... Facebook, get out of the freaking way. I'm trying to see the comment, and you won't let me see the comment until I push a reaction button.
Would it be better...
Which I've already pushed.
Would I be better off hiring a copywriter more expensive or a VA?
Unlike it or like it again. I mean, I'm just going around in fucking circles here, Facebook. This is broken. UX fail. UX fail. Trying to read a comment on the iPad, having to just push. Look at that. It's broken. I mean, check this out. I'm going to show this. Can we get a close-up of this, Max, right? I'm trying here to push
that one.
Here we go. Which one? Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to view a comment on the iPad here, right?
Oh.
And every time I go to click on it...
Look at that. You got the laser pointer pointed
Every time I go to click... Who's doing that?
No, it's reflection from the thing. That's
Every
awesome.
time I try to click on the comment, it wants me to push a reaction button, right?
Bang.
And so I can't read the comment. I push the reaction button, and then the comment shrinks again. Hey, Facebook, that's fucking broken. Fix it.
It's all very exciting.
Someone tag Zuckerberg in, will they?
Yep.
So, anyway, there we go.
So I
Now,
might just jump into
What was the
this
question?
One. I'm looking to hire someone to handle my blog content. Would I be better off hiring a copywriter or a VA? So if you need someone to produce written content, I would highly recommend a copywriter. But it doesn't, like the role itself, I would be leaning towards copywriter, but whoever's going to achieve the end result for you is ideal. A VA is more someone who's going to assist you virtually, right? So they're going to be able to do a lot of variety of like admin tasks. They're not specifically suited to creating blog content, although a lot of people try to adapt them there. It does depend on the content that you are trying to produce. I would go the copywriting route. And I would go for fixed rate with that one.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say that I would hire a VA and then I would make it the VA's job to go and find copywriters to write the blog content.
Nice.
That's what I'd do.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Cool. All right.
Kristen Craig says, when you say hire, do you consider that full-time typically? I have needs for different pieces. Would love to see the rest of your comment, Kristen, but Facebook just won't let me. I have needs for different pieces of, quick fixes, something. Roster of freelancers to call on for different things needed without a lot of luck. To hire seems that there has to be a commitment of time work, which I'm not sure I can always provide. So I passionately believe that if you need to have a regular team. Max is not full-time, right? He doesn't work full-time for us. He's a contractor. He invoices us, has his own ABN, pays his own tax and super and all that kind of shit. And he invoices us and we pay him the invoice, right? So, but Max is here. He's consistent every week. He's here 2 days a week, right? And sometimes there's not enough work for Max. Well, in the past, there hasn't been enough work for Max to sit around 2 days a week. So he might go home and do some editing, or he might work a day and a half, whatever. But the thing is, he's booked 2 days a week, right? So he knows 2 days a week he's here. We've inducted him into our systems. He understands our brand. If we had a different person turning up every week to try and produce this show, it just would never happen. There's no way we would get the consistent outcome. So whoever you're hiring, they don't have to be full-time, but they have to be consistent. If you're going to hire someone, Suzanne Skarka is another example. She writes our blog posts and our show notes. She's not full-time, but she's the main writer we use, and we only ever use other writers if we need to, if there's overflow.
Yeah. I think the live stream's been disconnected, but we're just going to have to keep going for the old YouTube machine. Yeah.
What happened?
Do you have any idea? It says we've got 0 viewers.
0 viewers, stream status.
Is this going to go to YouTube afterwards anyway?
Yeah, it probably is.
Max? All right. Well, let's...
we're back. There's 3 viewers back. Maybe Facebook have banned me because I was cursing. Maybe Facebook have banned us because I was cussing.
Maybe they fixed the UX.
I was.
Maybe they just had a quick intermission.
I was cussing like a cussing.
Oh, no colloquialism on that one?
No, we're back now. Cussing like a cowboy. I was. That's why Facebook shut us down.
Oh, Jesus
but now
Christ.
we're back, apparently.
All right.
So anyway, is it a new live or is it still the same one? Maybe it's still the same one.
I think it's a new one.
The new one, is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's boring, isn't it? Anyway. Hi, we're going to put this on YouTube anyway. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll have to excuse the interruption there to broadcasting. Facebook cut us off, but now we're back.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. All right. Cool.
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 So we've been talking about what made the Wii come out, which is the iPad Pro, the Apple Pencil, doing coaching calls on Zoom. It's time to check out the tool of the week.
Get ready for Tool of the Week.
Look at you taking control again. Well done.
Yeah,
Get it back on track.
Jeffrey Patch says you're live now. Samantha Johnson says you're back. We're back, says Ritchie Zangoski. Broadcast died. I'll be back, says Keely. Yep, it's a new live stream. Don't know what happened there, but...
Yeah, it's a bit weird. So, tool of the week. Do you want to run through this one? It's something on the iPad that we mentioned before, and it is very exciting, and I'm just absolutely loving it because I bought the iPad on Friday and I spent all weekend playing with this one. It's called Notability. And it's basically just like a smart piece of paper, I guess, with coloring in pencils. So you can bring in like templates and PDF templates and meeting, all sorts of different things. And you can just be drawing all over those, basically. You can record your audio. Have you done this one? You can record audio and be drawing. And then when you scrub through to different parts of the audio, it will draw with that. It'll show you what's up.
That only works if someone else has the Notability app.
Good. Well, just when you're doing it yourself.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And you can send it to someone else with the Notability app, and it'll import the note, and it will draw it as you're explaining the audio.
Yeah. So this is great for client meetings. It's great for coaching. It's great for teaching. Like for teaching, it is just fantastic.
Did you get the iPad Pro?
No, I got the cheaper one.
Do you have the screen record function on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just in the iPad Pro?
Just the regular iPad. Yeah. It's the new one. Yeah,
not in Notability, but just the actual screen record function. Yeah, so the other thing you can do is if someone doesn't have the Notability app, you can just open the Notability app, you can draw on it, you can record your voice, you can hit the screen record function on the iPad, and you can record a QuickTime movie and then just send that to somebody.
Yeah. So one of the things we're working on here is like using models to explain things. So just getting better and better at being able to explain a particular concept in the left and the right brain way, using colors and models and stories and all of these different things combined together. And Notability has just been amazing for doing that.
Jeffrey Patch says, I just bought a slightly old iPad Air 2 and you guys are giving me FOMO to get one that supports the Apple Pencil.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Awesome. All right. That's a bit of a wrap for today's episode on preparing to hire. I hope this has been useful. I hope you found it interesting and fascinating. Get it right in there. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let us know what you're looking to do with your business. Are you looking to hire, or do you have any successful tips for hiring process and how you prepared your business to do so? Please let us know in the comments. Share this with someone you think would find this fascinating. Make sure you tune in next week for our next episode. Yeah,
fascinating. Use that word. Use that word loosely.
Yeah. Entertaining, maybe. Entertaining.
You know what happens when we stop the live stream and the lights are off? I just still sit here and look at the camera.
Yeah. Just sit patiently and just wait.
Just wait for next week
Yeah. Just don't move.
until someone says we're live. So, oh, hello. How you
Until
doing?
someone assigns you something in Asana, and then all hell breaks loose, and that's it.
Richie says, how do we get into the Mavericks Club again? Richie, send an email to support@wpelevation.com with the subject line Mavericks, and our machine robots will take care of you.
Absolutely. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, gang. Hey, look, we
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully with less technical problems. Let us know how it sounds. Let us know if you like the new microphones. Let us know what you think we could do to improve the show, because we really do care and we want to make this the best show possible for you. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, I'm Troy Dean.
I'm Simon Kelly, and remember, knowledge is power.
And silence is golden.